What's up? What's up? What's up? Your boy Domuto. We back with another video. Today we are watching Ultra Vegeta, Seraphim Goku, and Vegeta's final trump card. All right, so we about to see some action today. Okay. Yeah, that boy Dark. I guess his name is Dark now. So he's tough. He's tough. So we better see what happens, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and Lego.
So our story continues with us staring at the backsides of the four legendary Saiyans: Goku, Vegeta, Yamoshi, and Broly, all in their new full-powered forms, each different from one another as they in turn look up into the sky at the fifth of the five strongest, Light, who watches down on them like the god he is. And with each of the four with their own thoughts and game plan on Light, Goku would begin thinking, Light, he won't stop improving.
What the hell?
He looks and sounds different to before. We need to be on guard. While the cocky Vegeta, with a completely different view, would just let out, finally, the little runt has recognized the power before him. Now, we'll really be able to see just why the members of the Five are so feared. But Yamoshi, hearing this, would reply, you should have learned that already from fighting me, young Saiyan. This is more than learning why the Five are so dreaded. This is about learning exactly why Dai was so confident in letting Light take his place. Or should I say, Dark. While with his bright purple eyes of destruction, Broly would just remain stoic and silent, just keeping watch of the foe he knows already will be no pushover. But up in the sky, covered in black lightning now,
I look you where Vegeta at,
himself
nigga.
his alter ego, Dark, the seemingly new, deeper voice, would just say, staring into his palm, such fools you are. You really do have no idea what you have just done. I've laid dormant within Light for centuries now, and you dare disturb my slumber for what? Now only death and destruction awaits the multiverse.
Aw, shit.
Until that priest comes to deal with me again. And this time, when I see his puny little blue face, I will personally rip it straight off! As suddenly, the true vitriol and nature of this dark fellow begins to show itself, immediately being triggered by some kind of old grudge from the past with Dai. But as Dark's anger would build, Dark, don't get carried away now. I'm still here. Suddenly, Light's voice would intervene, still present on the left side of his body, as talking to what looks like himself, he would add, the age of darkness is not upon us just yet. I've only pulled out a little of your energy to deal with these four. You must really not think much of me to think I'd need your full power. I'm still in control of this battle, and still in control of you.
Oh shit.
Don't forget that. And if Dai ever has to show up again to stop you, you know he won't be as lenient as last time. To which the angered Dark, talking back to his left side, would grumble, I could care less about that damn angel's leniency. Things will go differently this time, I can tell you that. But fine. You're the boss for now, Light. But you disgust me having to call on my power even a little for such weaklings. Huh? But watching the strange interaction with seemingly just himself, Goku would look on puzzled, questioning, what's going on up there? Is that guy talking to us or himself? It's almost like he's got two different voices now too. How strange.
Very strange.
How observant of you, clown. But interrupting Goku would be Vegeta, who would be looking up as well, saying, yes, it does seem like that kid is talking to himself, and it doesn't seem to be any kind of mental breakdown. It appears that new name he gave for himself, Dark, may not have been just for dramatic effect after all. Someone else has emerged on this battlefield, but through light. As expected, there's more to the fifth of the five strongest than we first thought. He could be a fusion too, for all we know. No, Light is no fusion. But before that idea would get carried away, Yamoshi, the third of the five strongest and former teacher of Light, would begin shedding some information, stating, this dark character Light is putting on is nothing more than a fantasy, an alter ego of his, a figment of his imagination created from his loneliness that went just a little too
lonely ass
far.
nigga.
Light is a lone soul, no family, no friends, no home. His past no longer exists. All he has ever had was himself and his extremely unique power. Over time, that power became his only friend and eventually manifested itself into his secondary personality, Dark. And for good reason too,
Dark.
as it in some ways locked away a strength that would be far too dangerous to be available at any time. A strength, if truly let loose, if Dark truly takes over, would be a threat almost as bad as Lucifer. What? And in response, instantly all three of the other Saiyans would react in complete shock, having never anticipated Yamoshi to have compared Light's true power to that of the great demon they have all come to know. But it wouldn't take long for Vegeta to soon change his tune, grinning curiously as he lets out, you know what? I've heard just about enough of these all-powerful threats that supposedly nobody here could stand a chance against. Light, Lucifer, Dark, even Zeno and the Priest. It's all the same. It all means nothing in the end. They all have to fall by our hand anyway. All four of us will try our very best now to make that a reality. Let the best Saiyan win. As Vegeta, with his grin wider than ever, then would get into fighting stance. Leaving Goku 2 now to follow suit, lifting his arm for his own fighting stance while responding, Vegeta, that new form of yours has really given you some crazy confidence. I haven't seen you like this in a while. But you're right. there's no point worrying about what we can and can't do anymore.
Okay.
At this point, I think we all know there's no turning back. Precisely, Kakarot! As Vegeta would agree, before Broly would finally break his own silence, saying, I agree. All we can do now is see this through to the end. This is our final obstacle.
Okay.
When this is done, you will finally have your shot at revenge. I hope you get what you desire, so that I can be free of this nightmare. But Yamoshi, also ready for battle, would be far more pessimistic in his response, saying instead ominously, you three certainly spout a big talk. And as commendable your bravery may be, it means little here. I'm afraid there's a chance once Dark is inevitably completely let loose, the nightmare would have only just begun. But regardless, with their convictions set, all four would then launch simultaneously at Light in the very next panel, each roaring at the top of their lungs, eager to be the first to land something on the all-powerful god. But just as the four would strike, of course, Light would not be so brazen to allow all four to land at the same time, vanishing at the very last second as each's limb would come within nanometers of touching him, much to the surprise of all four Saiyans. Huh? Down there! As soon enough, all four above would notice that below, Light would appear unfazed, and with his arms by his side, as if he had not just dodged four of the most powerful Saiyans in all of history. As looking up, with a truly cold and disheveled look, Dark would let out, with that level of speed, you scummy mortals really attempted to attack me? This must be some kind of elaborate joke. Your weakness is already angering me!
Calm down, nigga.
What? As suddenly, out of nowhere, as if turning on a light bulb, Dark would then appear instantly in the middle of the foursome, stunning each, but most shockingly, striking Vegeta directly in his solar plexus.
Damn.
And with a delayed reaction, true demon of destruction Vegeta would exclaim in pure pain and shock, as his eyes burst wider than ever before, and blood shoots out like a bullet onto the clothes of the fifth. But smiling now, more jovial than his alter ego, a smirking Light would comment, I told you already, no demons shall walk around in the mortal realm as long as I am alive. You die here, God Killer! As within his left arm,
that boy Dark is a little different than Light.
Pure divine dark energy is then generated. What? Leaving the prince completely stunned as his end faces him directly in the face. No! But shouting in fear would be Yamoshi, who yells quickly, do not let that hit him! As instantly, in a stunning movement of protection over Vegeta that surprises even the Royal Saiyan, both Yamoshi and Broly suddenly rush in front of Vegeta, their hands extended ready to take the impact of the attack in his place. Brace yourself! and moments before impact, Yamoshi would just yell one more final line of advice as he is lost in the light of the attack. As Broly, equally panicked, would yell back, "I am Vegeta! You better protect Chile!" "What? You two?" Leaving the perplexed Vegeta, who can hardly believe their desire to save him, just laying frozen, still like a deer caught in headlights, as he too begins to be lost in the illumination of the incoming explosion. No! I'm not letting you all die!
Okay, Goku.
Some distance away, would recognize even with the combined effort of the three, the aftermath would be brutal. And immediately, for some reason, places his two fingers on his forehead, ready for an instant transmission, even though he was nowhere near the other three. Could Goku be escaping like a coward? But regardless, it would matter not in the end, as the energy ball would finally make contact and create a truly devastating explosion of black matter, thunder, lightning, and more that resembles a planet being eviscerated. Leaving Light and his alter ego now to watch calmly in the distance, having escaped and reappeared there as thunder rains down from the sky and nothing but smoke and dust remains where Vegeta, Broly, and Yamoshi once were.
Okay.
But despite the view, Dark in particular would be unimpressed and dissatisfied as he comments, "I know they're weaklings, but even they should leave behind a trace after that attack. Something's wrong. That damn Seraphim. He's evolving." As when we look into the distance of a set of mountains, nothing would be seen until, without warning, an instant transmission arrival would be taking place. Most likely, Goku, we would assume. What? But in reality, in an inexplicable sight, instead all three of the previously near-death Saiyans would appear suddenly in the instant transmission without a hint of Goku in sight. Frozen in
he can make him. He made other niggas his transmission
with nothing but
fire
confusion written across their faces as they appear surrounded in a strange but familiar cyan-colored energy. Whoa! But from behind the energy surrounding the trio, a surprise voice would be heard, and it would be none other than Goku, who seems just as dumbfounded as the rest, as his two fingers remain on his forehead, his other palm faces towards the three Saiyans, as Vegeta can only mumble looking back, "Kakarot, you did this?" Leaving the bemused Goku, who can barely get any words out, to look into his palm and whisper, I don't know.
You did, bro.
I guess I did." Before eventually smiling, realizing the powers of the Seraphim have seemingly extended his abilities in more ways than one, as he lets out, "This power I have, it makes me feel like anything is possible now. I outstretched my hand without thinking, almost on instinct, and I guess I just knew I could make my instant transmission work with connecting my energy to you alone. Cool trick, huh?" And as the scene would then pan across the thunderous battlefield, the four Saiyans would then reconvene, taking what brief time they have to come up with another plan considering the threat of Light, with Yamoshi leading, saying, "It seems just like I told you. you're all severely underestimating just how strong Light really is. Now Dark is out, we have little hope. But one of you at least, seems to be his weakness. Causing Vegeta to angrily grumble. Typical. Of course that clown would find a way to end up the hero. With Broly finally adding, Kakarot, your Seraphim form has landed the most damage on him so far, and your ability to heal and save us from imminent danger is invaluable. You are the key to winning this battle. Me?
Yeah.
As Goku just continues to look down at his hands and powers in
You're the strongest, man.
Considering their words, as he says, if that's what you guys think, then I'll do my best. I still think I have a whole lot more to show. Enough! He's coming! As just as quickly as the discussions would start, they would suddenly end, as Broly and Yamoshi would then notice something incoming, and incoming fast. Light! The brat's on the move! As finally, Vegeta turning around fully would then notice too. Are you weaklings stalling? Hurry up and die, so I can finally go back to sleep!
You trying to go back to sleep?
As Dark, talking once more, would indicate his eagerness to destroy all traces of the last remaining Saiyan. But on the
I'm ready
battlefield
for
below,
Vegeta to pop out, man.
Broly, powering up and tensing his muscles, would duck his body down as if ready to slingshot up as the ground below trembles until... like a speeding rocket, he would fire straight into the sky and reach Dark within nanoseconds. But Light, taking over once again, would just mock the attempt, face on, without even a flinch, noting, how careless. You may have speed, but your lugging huge body can barely keep up. Your wide open destroyer.
You're wide open, destroyer.
As with a speed and swiftness so elite that Broly could hardly even react, pointing his hands into a spear position that even without any energy surrounding it, Light would cut through Broly, leaving a trail of crimson red blood to pour in front of Broly's shell-shocked face. My arm! As the angered primal Broly would soon yell in hysterics, looking at the severely damaged state of his limb. While Light, looking back, would just say, "You've got tough skin, I'll tell you that. Anybody else, and that arm would be missing." But as Light would look back, Dark would notice something is off.
Sure.
As finally, even in this new state, Light would then get punched straight onto his face. Yamoshi! And of course, it would once more inexplicably be the third, who with all his years of experience with Light, seems to always know the perfect opening and counterpunch
he
to
gets-
catch the fifth.
He gets cocky after a hit.
But taking his opportunity and revenge for his earlier injury, Broly would quickly rush in as Light recovers. Why you? Leaving Light briefly stunned at his arrival so soon after injury before.
Okay.
Broly too would land a punch, straight after Yamoshi, sending the fifth flying back with his face wincing in pain and blood leaking slowly from his mouth. Quickly landing on his knees and arm angrily, with a vein pulsating rapidly on his forehead. With his teeth gritted, he would then grumble out, "Damn you, Yamoshi! Why am I still getting tagged by him? What does he know that I don't?
Let your guard down after you
Where
get a good hit
are
in.
you?" Before quickly looking from side to side in anger, wondering where the two had even gone. Oh, there they are! The other two! As eventually he would notice Yamoshi and Broly up in the air, but now curiously square above Goku and Vegeta. Wait! But as he would wonder why they were all together, something strange would be felt within his body. A sensation that would be all too familiar to his victims, as he mutters, "My body, it's..." As standing there in the distance with a smirk and his palm outstretched would be Seraphim Goku.
What you doing?
Seeming supremely confident as he lets out,
Godbind.
"What's wrong, Light? Not feeling in control anymore? Feeling like you can't move?" As now growing in confidence, Goku would explain, "Turns out this Seraphim form of mine lets me do all sorts. Transfer my energy from across distances. Kinda like what you did to control me earlier. If my energy being so pure is what allowed you to do that, then I should be able to do the same to you. Now hold still and enjoy some of your own medicine." "What? You could never!" As Light would just remain still, unable to even believe a word coming out of Goku's voice, even with his struggle to move. "Doubt him all you want, kid, but I'm coming!"
Pause.
But Vegeta, watching on, would just ready himself with a grin, stamping his feet down before rushing straight at the still frozen
Come on, Vegeta,
Light,
get a hit in, bro.
covered in his dark purple aura and with his muscles flexed. "Yeah, that's for earlier!" Immediately then landing a devastating left punch straight on the cheek of the young god, sending his arms flailing in the air. "These Saiyans!" As when we zoom in on Light's shocked face, blood would be splattering everywhere, as he struggles in disbelief that he would be outmaneuvered and outsmarted so easily by these lesser mortals.
Lesser mortals is crazy.
But just as fast as Vegeta would land that punch, the tables would turn again, as Light would suddenly then vanish from his sight. "What? Did I do something wrong?" Causing even Goku to be surprised, who begins doubting himself, as Vegeta yells angry looking back, "Hey Kakarot! This isn't part of the plan! I thought you said you could control his every move, clown!" "What?" Before suddenly, the fifth would instantly reappear in front of the shocked Goku and say with the deep voice of Dark, "You may have had some control over Light, but you have nothing on me, Saiyan."
Oh, shit.
"Kakarot!" Leading to Vegeta instantly recognizing the impending danger, rushing forward at his longtime rival and friend. "Get away from him!" Launching with his arm cocked back, ready to strike Light once more, and hopefully for the final time. And Soon enough, the true demon of destruction would find himself face to face with both Light and Goku, ready to attack until... Wait! Vegeta! But much like the first time all four would attack, the fifth at the very last moment would begin dematerializing, right before the eyes of the still surprised Goku, who still can't understand how the young god is even moving despite his technique.
Come on, Vegeta.
Inevitably leading to Vegeta's
First of all, Goku, you could have
punch
dodged that.
landing flush on Goku's guts, winding him instantly. Clown! Why didn't you get out of the way? Leaving the unaccountable Vegeta to just blame Goku. While the comedically perplexed Goku can only whisper, still in agony, "Why didn't I get out of the way?" Before Goku would then stabilize himself, grabbing his stomach in agony, groaning until... "Why didn't you just not punch me? Ever think about that, Vegeta?" Before hilariously, at the top of his voice, he would yell at Vegeta, silencing the prince instantly.
That is
He
true.
would awkwardly mutter back, sorry. But their comedic moment would be short-lived, as the two would quickly soon turn around to notice danger once more. What? And meeting them would be not just any kind of danger, but the life-ending kind, as rushing towards them would be a huge and powerful ball of white energy draped in black lightning, destroying the ground beneath it as it rushes like a bullet train straight for the two Saiyans with almost no time to react. "Get out of my way, Kakarot!" But Vegeta, seemingly covering his protecting nature over Goku with his pride, would suddenly then kick the Saiyan hard in the back into the distance. "Give me your all! Just try and kill me!" As he would instantly then cross his
Come on,
arms,
Vegeta.
bracing for the impact, leaving himself by choice to face Light's devastating attack all by himself. And unfortunately, as it would eventually make contact, a blood-curdling scream would be heard from the prince, as he makes seemingly the ultimate sacrifice for the good of the multiverse. "Vegeta, no! Why?" As Goku, helplessly now back on his feet, would only be able to watch as the huge wind and debris from the explosion smashes all over his body and through his hair, with no sign of his once friend in sight.
Damn.
"I will not forgive you!"
Oh shit.
As raging from Vegeta's alleged sacrifice,
You done
Goku
killed his
would
mans.
immediately push himself even further, powering up to a noticeably even higher level of power before launching straight towards the direction of Light, with complete conviction to avenge Vegeta. That speed and the ferocity of Goku's approach would even catch Light off guard, as he briefly turns his gaze from Vegeta's corpse to where Goku is approaching from. Yeah! You pay!
Okay.
And
Knock
with
his ass
such
out.
insane speed, even the manga panels can't keep up, as Seraphim
The manga
Goku
panels.
would instantaneously appear, striking Light cataclysmically hard on the chin.
You gotta put that word in there. You struggle with that one.
Where is this strength coming from? leaving the dazed and dipping in and out of consciousness with his eyes closed Light to just contemplate as he falls backwards how this Saiyan is even harnessing such incredible power. But the brutality of the Saiyan's counterattack would not end there, as only moments later, as if the duo were just waiting for their perfect moment, both Yamoshi and Broly would then arrive to double assault Light from both sides of his torso, and exactly at the same time, leading to an even harder impact than that he just received from Goku. Sending the near lifeless body of the young god to just spin weightlessly towards the ground before landing on his hands and knees with a loud thud. This is not happening. But of course, Light would be quick to get back up, albeit damaged now and holding onto his left shoulder until... What? In an extreme case of deja vu and karma,
how you like that, Light?
Biff would now be the one confronted by a gigantic beam of pure energy that arrives right in front of his face. And as his entire countenance is lost within its illumination, Light with big wide eyes would just mutter out, I can't dodge this! How are they doing this? Before in an even more gigantic explosion than one suffered by seemingly Vegeta, Light would be lost within a truly landscape-altering detonation that creates a strange cyan and purple sphere of energy for Light to suffer within. How do you like it when it happens to you?
Vegeta?
As standing there worse for wear, but still alive next to Goku, true demon of destruction Vegeta would be revealed to be still alive and still able to attack, having launched a combined ki beam with the help of Goku. As a completely ravaged and covered in damaged Light would then reveal his angry self amongst the rising smoke and destruction, grumbling internally, the fifth, the strongest of the five, even with me using this much of Dark's power, they still can do this to me! Not one of them has been taken out yet. I won't allow this! I won't allow this to happen!
Shit. Oh shit.
As suddenly, Light would explode with energy once more, his power level rising rapidly as his appearance takes a turn for the worst once again, with half of his body now becoming grayed out as his hair spikes up, indicating an even greater pollution of Light's personality with Dark as he slowly takes over. And as Light, or should we say Dark, continues his transformation, Goku and Vegeta will just be left to watch on.
Y'all need
As
Vegeta,
all
big
across
dog.
the battlefield, the entire environment would begin to change and destroy itself, with Black Thunder crushing all around onto the ground. What's going on? Dark! Dark is taking over! As even Yamoshi and Broly would need to watch themselves carefully as they dodge each and every one of the deadly energy-filled bolts of light. Dark is taking over now, leaving Vegeta now
did
sweating
you not expect
over
that to
the
happen?
implication of the fifth change. as Goku, now on one knee, would realize too just how bad this is, saying, "No, it keeps on going. It's just as I thought. We aren't even close to seeing how powerful he is. We can't keep going like this. We need help!" But suddenly, just as Goku would make this call, the doors of the Pyramid of Power would slam open once more. Huh? The Pyramid! Who is it this time? So the God Killer finally returns. But unfortunately, all four would be wrong, as arriving out of the pyramid would shockingly be Goku Black, with a devious smirk, covered in bruises, presumably from training, but curiously, with his pupils missing. But shockingly, out of nowhere, those missing pupils seem to be more of a sign of losing consciousness than a new power, as Black would suddenly fall to the ground unconscious. As out of the pyramid, a certain spiky-haired warrior would begin to reveal himself. And with a familiar grin, would shockingly even reveal the existence of a Seraphim Eye, along with a Demon Eye. Could this truly be the return of Vegeta? But just how did he learn the arts of the Seraphim alone? So this is Vegeto's timeline. As unbelievably, it would not be Vegeta.
Alright, can we get Vegeta now? Come on.
Ultra
You stretching this story, nigga.
Once again, after months of chapters of never being returned to, has finally showed up again. Out of the pyramid, with 2 demon horns now present, and of course, both Seraphim and demon abilities on board. This battle just got a whole lot more interesting.
I ain't gonna lie, boy. You was stretching this story. I get it, bro. You was stretching this motherfucker. I ain't gonna cap. All right. There was a fire chapter. That boy like just strong as hell. You know, strong as hell. Even 4 of the strongest Saiyans going at him, still getting cooked. Then we got see Gogeta. I guess let's see what Gogeta do. But yeah, man, if you like this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out the last chapter right here. Check out another video you might like right here, and I'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace.